In the village of Yumadim, there lived a girl whose beauty was known far and wide. Her name was Princess Olanma, daughter of King Obadiah and Queen Nena. Her skin glowed like fresh palm oil under the sun. Her eyes sparkled like the stars that danced in the midnight sky. When she walked, it was as if the ground itself paused to admire her. People whispered, "There goes Olanma, the beauty of 10 lands." But Olanma's beauty was like a sharp knife, it had no mercy. She knew she was beautiful, and because of it, she became proud, rude, and full of herself. If anyone crossed her path without greeting or admiring her, she would hiss and walk away. Sometimes she would stop villagers on the road and say, "Bow and greet me. Say I'm the most beautiful you've ever seen." And many, fearing her sharp tongue and royal pride, would obey just to avoid insult. Her arrogance didn't end there. Suitors came from across rivers and kingdoms. Handsome warriors, wealthy traders, even a quiet prince from the east all came asking for her hand. But Olanma mocked each one. "Look at this one with ears like a goat," she once laughed. "He wants to marry me." She turned every suitor away, not because they weren't good men, but because none of them looked as fine as she believed she deserved. Her parents began to worry. "This is not how we raised our daughter," Queen Nena said, tears in her eyes. "What will become of her? She will chase away her blessings with this pride," King Obadiah murmured, his heart heavy. The villagers, too, began to talk. "A girl with a face like that but a heart full of thorns. No man can build a home with her," they said. But Olanma didn't care. She laughed louder, walked taller, and grew prouder. What she didn't know was that the ground she stepped on with pride was already cracking beneath her. One sunny afternoon, Olanma wore her finest red wrapper, tied with gold beads. She oiled her skin until it shimmered, arranged her hair in tall braids, and added bells that jingled as she walked. She wanted the village to see her and talk about her beauty again. She walked past the market, not buying anything, just parading. She didn't greet the women selling beans. She ignored the old men playing Ao under the tree. She only paused when she saw people looking her way, expecting them to whisper compliments, but then, she saw someone who didn't look at her at all, an old woman, bent and slow, walking with a cane. Her wrapper was faded, her hair gray, and her steps careful. Olanma frowned. The woman walked past her without bowing, greeting, or even glancing. Insulted, Olanma turned back and blocked the old woman's path. "Are you blind?" she shouted. "Do you not know who I am? Don't you have eyes to see beauty?" The old woman looked up calmly. Her eyes were gentle, but deep, like the forest after rain. "I know who you are, child," she said. "But beauty is not meant to be worshipped. It is meant to shine through kindness and humility. Greet others, and they will greet you. Humble yourself." Olanma laughed, loud and mocking. "Humble? Me? You must be mad." Then, before anyone could stop her, she slapped the old woman's face. The crowd around gasped. Even the birds seemed to fall silent. The old woman stepped back, placed her palm on her own cheek, and closed her eyes. She raised one trembling hand to the sky. "Olanma," she said, voice low but strong, "since you love your beauty more than your soul, I take it from you. From this moment, it will fade. You will only find it again when someone truly loves you, not for your face, but for your heart." Before Olanma could speak, the old woman disappeared into thin air like smoke blown from a fire. Fear crept up Olanma's spine, but she pushed it down. "It's just an old mad woman," she told herself. "Her words mean nothing." She was wrong. The next morning, Olanma stretched and yawned in her silk bedding. She walked to her mirror to admire her reflection, as she always did. But when she looked, she froze. The mirror showed a different girl. Her skin was dry and patchy. Her hair had lost its shine. Her lips were cracked. Her once clear eyes looked tired and dull. "No, no, no, no," she screamed, throwing the mirror to the floor. It shattered into 100 pieces. Servants rushed in. Her mother came, her father followed. The palace healer was summoned. He brought herbs and ointments, but nothing changed. The priests chanted all night. Still, her beauty remained lost. Word spread fast. Villagers who once feared her now whispered openly. "So the curse is true," they said. "Her beauty has left her." The suitors vanished like smoke. The market women she once insulted now turned their backs when she passed. Children laughed at her behind her back. Even some palace servants no longer greeted her with respect. Olanma became a shadow of herself. She stayed indoors, hid her face, and refused to eat. The mirror no longer called her. Her clothes no longer mattered. She wept often, curled up on her bed. One evening, Queen Nena sat beside her. "My child," she said softly, "beauty is a gift, not a weapon. You used yours to hurt others. But the curse is not the end. You can still change your story." Olanma looked at her mother through teary eyes. "I didn't know. I thought being beautiful meant being powerful." "No," her mother said. "True power comes from a good heart." And for the first time, Olanma didn't argue. She only nodded and wept. Now that her beauty was gone, Olanma no longer walked the village with her head high. She no longer wore gold beads or fine wrappers. She began wearing plain cotton, wrapping her hair in simple scarves. At first, it was to hide her shame. But slowly, something inside her started to shift. She began waking early, not to admire herself, but to sweep the palace yard. She helped the servants cook, carry firewood, and pound yam. At first, they thought it was a trick. But days passed. Then weeks. Her pride had fallen like dry leaves in Harmattan. One morning, she asked the queen, "Can I go to the market with the other women?" Queen Nena looked surprised, but nodded. So Olanma joined the market sellers under the big mango tree. She sat with old Mama Ebel and helped her peel cassava. The villagers watched from afar. "Is that not the princess?" someone whispered. "The one who once said our noses were too wide to look at her." But Olanma said nothing. She just smiled and continued her work. Over time, she helped sweep the village square, fed children whose mothers were sick, and helped an old man rebuild his broken hut. Slowly, people began to greet her again, not because she was beautiful, but because she had changed. Then one day, while she was fetching water by the stream, she met a young man. His name was Obina, a simple farmer from the edge of the village. He had a quiet strength and eyes that noticed everything. That he greeted her politely, not staring or laughing at her appearance. "Let me carry that calabash for you," he offered. Olanma hesitated. "You don't have to." "I know," he replied, "but I want to." From that day on, Obina and Olanma saw each other often, at the stream, at the market, by the farms. He never asked about her lost beauty. He only laughed at her jokes, listened when she spoke, and praised her when she helped others. She found herself looking forward to his voice, the way he always made her feel seen, not for her face, but for who she was becoming. And slowly, without even knowing it, her heart began to bloom. One morning, just as the cock crowed and the sky turned gray with dawn, Olanma went to the stream to wash her hands. She bent over the water, splashed it on her face, and froze. The reflection staring back was not the dull, tired girl she had grown used to. Her skin looked softer. Her hair had thickened. Her eyes, those eyes that once sparkled with pride, now shone with a gentle light. It wasn't just beauty returning. It was peace. Wholeness. Grace. She touched her face gently. Could it be? She whispered. She ran home, calling for her mother. Queen Nena stared, mouth open, tears running down her cheeks. "Olanma, my child, the curse is lifting." That afternoon, Obina came to the palace. He carried nothing but a small wooden bowl filled with oranges and mangoes. He bowed to the king and queen and said, "I come with no gold, no titles. Only love, pure and honest. If you will let me, I want to spend the rest of my life with your daughter." Olanma stood beside him, her hand in his. Her heart beat not with pride this time, but with hope. King Obadiah smiled for the first time in many moons. You are a rich man, Obina. You have brought back our daughter, not just in beauty, but in spirit. And so, a wedding was held, not the loud, proud kind, but a simple one, filled with joy, drumming, laughter, and dancing under the moon. The villagers came not to see a beautiful princess, but to celebrate a woman whose heart had become golden. As the drums beat and the fire cracked, a shadowy figure stood far off in the trees, the old woman. She smiled softly, her cane tapping once against the earth before she disappeared for good. From that day, Olanma ruled with humility and love. She never forgot her past. Instead, she used it to teach others, and so the elders say, beauty will fade like flowers in the sun. But a kind heart, it shines even in the dark.